you can actually win both a motherboard as well as a PCI Express SSD, so it's an SSD that you can put in a PCI slot, which is pretty cool. You go to facebook.com/RGNordic, and there you fill in the most valuable hero for this week of the ASUS ROG DreamLeague, and then on Saturday it will most likely be Hani that will actually select the hero that had the most influence on the games of this week. So make sure you do that. Let's take a look at what the teams have in store for each other. Alliance versus Monkey Freedom Fighters, and we are actually in the draft.
Yeah, so far the bans have been pretty standard, I guess. Brood, Prophet, Swap, and well, okay, I guess that's the non-standard part. Doom gets let through.
I guess that's fine. That's a Nature's Prophet factor, right? Maybe Brood factor as well, but they know that Alliance picks Brood in the first phase, so you know one of those heroes is gonna get let through.
Again, like if you look at the numbers, Prophet has not been a very good hero for Alliance. Its win rate has been very low, but I guess it allows Alliance to play more or less a comfort style. I'm surprised that they could taken out the Prophet and not the Wisp, because I feel like Wisp is much stronger in that regards. It makes your lanes much freer. You could run much more combos, like with Piney, they run Wisp PA, but in either case, Wisp is ignored.
So that looks like a start of a dual lane here. I would almost assume like the dual offlane Doom plus Lich.
Yeah, I think they do that better.
And I just think Doom is such a terrible hero for Ember Spirit. I mean, it's obviously good against almost pretty much any hero, but Ember Spirit, if you're doomed, there's no way of surviving. You're just dead.
So if you're Monkey Freedom Fighters, you want to try to get more heroes that are obvious Doom targets, so at least one doesn't get doomed, and your Ember can do something? Is that a logical way of thinking, or is that like... That's smart.
It makes sense to have more heroes that you have to focus.
Yeah. Because you're not gonna do Meta.
Yeah, that's true. But there's nothing, I mean, honestly, there's nothing really that comes to my mind that's an anti-Doom
Storm Spirit.
hero.
Oh no, like, well, I mean, in terms of heroes that you need to do.
You can pick a hero like Dazzle, for example. If you don't doom Dazzle, he's gonna help out target that get doomed by healing and engraving. So...
But as soon as Doom will get into the later portion of the game where he's gonna have a Ganoms,
yeah, that's where
you're just taken out.
Well,
but yes,
you
have
it there, yeah.
But you have it, yeah, for sure. I guess Dazzle is one of those heroes at least that can, you know, stall the death. So you have a decent chance of sort of saving a hero. And I believe, yeah, that kind of healing regeneration factor would be something to help against it.
Also for Alliance, remove the Temporal Assassin as well as the Darkseer. Now we're expecting to see Demon on the offlane. In terms of heroes that you can have on the offlane really easily without having issues of any ping. Darkseer, before the show started, I think it was actually you that mentioned like Darkseer is a good hero to have, maybe Andy said it. Which other heroes would you like to see on the offlane from Demon where he will have minimum issues with ping?
It's been quite some time where I've seen Demon on offlane since he has played a lot of support. The heroes that come to my mind on him are Tide Hunter.
Yeah, I guess you don't really need to worry about ping with Tide.
We actually have seen a few Tides, right?
S4 played in mid, I think. For Alliance.
Didn't we see a Tide Hunter at MLG as well?
Was that Tide Hunter? But was it played on the offlane?
I don't know it.
I'm not gonna go that far. I don't actually think it's played that much. Okay, we've seen A pick up. That's pretty good against Doom. It's actually a solid solution against Doom. Yeah, since the regeneration, ever since you got that upgrade, it's just insane. It turned the hero into a complete nutshell where you just dive tier 1 towers and you just don't care.
And it's an alchemist thing. Like...
And an alchemist counter, but I think specific here is for sure it's a counter to Doom. Just that the regeneration of, I think it's almost 50, right? 40
it's something. I don't know the numbers.
That you have a second and a decent counter against the Wisp as well.
Yeah,
I think not only is it counter in the mid game, it's really good against Doom in the laning stage as well. Like we see Lich Doom a lot, at least in my pub games, and you just like think how I beat that, right? But if you really think about it, at level 1, Doom has Devour. Lich has Sacrifice. It makes them essentially glorify melee and range heroes, right? Like they're not really doing anything. So I feel like if you beat them at level 1 with a very strong tri-lane, which Chilling Touch is amazing in that scenario, you could really punch and limit what Lich and Doom can do early on. Obviously, once they get level 2, that's where it gets a lot more difficult, but like you said, Hani, I think focusing on the lane is the way to go. I think Ancient Apparition combined with the right hero makes for a way, like a really strong laning combo.
I would almost say that on this side of Alliance here, just laning wise, if they would go with a dual off lane, having Doom, Lich as an off lane, then you have a Wisp plus 1 short lane, you might get kind of weak. So you could abuse ganking on a mid lane.
Okay.
This is where, so they run Tiny Wisp. That is standard for Alliance where they just run it middle, or do they actually run it on side lanes as well?
They run it on side lanes as well, but I think I'm gonna expect it to be middle, with S4 something on the safe lane.
Would make sense because that way they stabilize their lanes. Or be a Batrider, it's not taken away yet, so you have a decent engage.
It's a very scary lineup, right?
Yeah, I mean already, even with the Batrider, even more.
I would almost think the ban will come out here by the side of Monkey Freedom Fighters. But
which other hero? If there's no Batrider, what would you like to see on S4?
This. I mean, Puck has been not picked up at all.
But Puck works really well with this strategy, right? Where if Puck finds anybody in a jungle, you just coil, and then the gank comes in, and you get a kill.
And if people snowball in with a lot of people in it, you can also dream coil the people that come from the snowball.
Oh, Ember Spirit is actually one of it's pretty decent against Puck.
Oh, talk about that. How about Lina?
You want to have a setup here, like you want to have something like. It can keep people in place, so then the Wisp relocate makes a lot of sense. And something that comes to my mind is also Bane, but at the same time, Bane is just not an S4 hero.
Yeah.
It wouldn't really work. You could consider, I think Queen of Bane is taken out, obviously.
Yeah. What about, this is something that they ran like really long time ago. You go Centaur in the safe lane, played by Bloda.
Actually, Centaur, yeah.
And then you go S4 Tiny mid, like they could essentially set up for each other.
They could also still go for Magnus, they actually play that quite a bit again. And Batrider, as you mentioned, by the way, got removed.
If you pick up the Mac though, yes, overall the strat makes sense. You have the buff for Tiny, you have a good setup, you have a start to the fight. The one problem I see is that if Monkey Freedom Fighters moves well, then mid and side lanes have a tough time, because Tiny Wisp on side lane is just not that great as a dual lane. So I think it's up to Monkey Freedom Fighters to move around and just set up ganks. They would have to move to
make the lanes
to make the lanes work, because if you just sit on the lane against a Doom Lich, they essentially will get more experience than you. They will just you just end up at their tower and you will just take XP until you hit level 3, and then Doom at level 3 is really hard to kill.
What do you make from Monkey Freedom Fighters lineup now? Because now we know Arise's hero, with the Razor picked up, and the Puck still. So you mentioned the Puck.
So you have an S4 Puck here.
And S4 Puck's been a while. What do you think? How the lineups are known?
Question still to me is Puck going to be the mid lane, or is it going to be a side lane Puck? I used to play a lot of side lane Puck when we had Era and Snowtail play the Wisp Tiny, but that was always on the Radiant side. I think on Dire, okay, but it's not as great.
What would you prefer to see?
Like I said, like my problem with the laning scenario here for Alliance is just I feel like if they run it 2-on-2, that they might be too fragile if Monkey Freedom Fighters moves a lot. Because Tusk is a good hero to get ganks going, and we see Dan and Wait actually, so it's not bad play.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, that's good to know.
Good to know. But a Tusk can for sure put a lot of pressure, but they will have to put pressure on side lanes. They can't put it on mid here, which is actually it's going to be very tough to gank a Puck.
Okay, we're gonna quickly see as people are moving into lanes. So you're gonna ask for predictions.
Yeah, predictions. Good predictions.
I like what Alliance is doing. If they're in the comfort zone with the Wisp, they have great ganks. I'm gonna go with Alliance.
Who's winning this?
I think Doom is going to be too much of a struggle in the mid game. You have very strong meta picks on Alliance, but I'll just go with Monkey Fighters first game.
Yeah, beginner's luck. Beginner's luck. Okay, I actually feel like Alliance got a pretty good lineup. I think they're gonna do it. We'll find out though what our commentators think. It is time for our first game of the day: Alliance versus Monkey Freedom Fighters with Odie Pixel and Draskell.
Indeed, thank you very much, Shiva. It is going to be game 1 of Alliance versus Monkey Freedom Fighters coming up right around the corner with myself, OD Pixel, and Draskell. We've just got a quick pause at the moment, but that'll give us a little bit of time to talk about the draft. Andy, what are your thoughts?
I actually kind of like Monkey Freedom Fighters. Their lightning phase seems very strong. We already talked about the ancient apparition counter to Doom.
Yes.
And I also think that during the mid game, just having the amplify damage on a Doom or a Tiny, it helps you kind of chop through those high armor heroes, or high health heroes, excuse me, that otherwise you would not really have a good way of fighting after a Doom comes out. But say you throw out a Doom onto somebody like Razor, it's not really that great, because if you already throw out Static Link, you already have Eye of the Storm running, you're still draining damage, you can still auto attack. Most of the things that you're trying to do in a team fight aren't really disabled by being doomed, you're just taking a little bit extra damage. So I think that they do have a lot of ways to deal with the Doom. Yeah, he should be okay.
Nah, he's cool, and he can obviously scale the orb. There's a snowball. Yapsor's giving him a bit of a rundown here, forcing him back. But yeah, as you were saying, Andy, with the Doom.
Yeah, I just think that MFF do have enough ways to deal with this mid-game of Doom, but it is also true, as Wahani was saying, is that it's very easy for them to get off to a good start, and looks like my nuts are gonna get out of here unscathed.
Yeah, they were looking to go, but again, another target that's going to be hard to catch out at this point with the Tevra available. And it looks like Monkey Freedom Fighters have managed to create a bit of space here, so they'll be able to get themselves to the top ring, but at the same time, looks like Alliance will be able to secure themselves the bottom. So, the lanes here, of course, from Monkey Freedom Fighters. The fact that we're going to be, by the looks of it, seeing Sing Sing being on the top lane, and they're going to put Demon on the Slardar down on the bottom lane.
I think they were probably just trying to go for as much lane pressure as they could. If you're in MFF's position, you don't really want to put yourself in a spot where Alliance has good lanes. Because look at their mid game, right? They have relocate ganks, they got Doom, they got Coil. Their mid game is actually very, very strong. So you want to put yourself in the best possible situation to stop them from getting to that point. And I feel like having a Ryze playing Razor mid, even against this combo, it shouldn't be too awful for him. If he needs a rotation from a support, he can have maybe Yapsor come over. But
Kind of says thanks for that one. There was the toss back onto him there, but he's stolen a fair bit of damage. And I guess this is one thing you got to be careful about, tossing him back when he's stealing the damage, because he's just going to turn around towards the eye and give him a few slaps.
Yeah, you can actually die in this lane if you're not careful. Because if the stun toss combination doesn't kill, you're looking at pretty much just spirit damage. And if, you know, a Ryze gets level 3, level 5, and gets more points than a Static Link, you could potentially die if you're not careful. Yapsor just being annoying here. He does have Snowball.
I was going to say, Minus needs to be very careful. He's going to put the Tevra first, but that's going to be the stun. Oh, it won't quite catch him, yeah. Fulfill will come out from a Ryze, but didn't quite clip the Ire. But yeah, you got to be careful with this Tusk making the rotations around the map, which I guess that's the nice thing about Monkey Freedom Fighters draft, the fact that you can kind of leave Slardar on his own on the bottom. Top lane, you know, the AA supporting up Sing Sing on the ambush should be enough for the most part of it, so Tusk can be very active around the map, and we can see at the moment, still just hanging around the mid lane here, looking to put pressure onto the Tiny Ire.
He's still on level 1.
He's going to go in again with the plasma field as well. That's going to be your first blood there onto Nuts. And Loader's going to be forced back there, so, well, the power of the Tusk there, Andy.
Yeah, just keeping himself not on enough HP. He actually had 2 bottle charges. In those types of situations, you always need to make sure that you're topped off, because if you're able to be bursted, Tusk is one of the best initiators in the business in the early game, just being able to get in. So you always have to keep yourself high HP if you want to avoid that situation from happening again.
Oh. There's a bit of a fight around the rune here. Demon gets the crush, takes the rune, gets himself out. They're going to try and give him the odd little rundown. Won't be able to get the tether slow onto him, but the right clicks bring him fairly low. He should be alright. Okay, hasn't quite got enough mana here for another blast. But nonetheless, he will force Demon right back. Demon's got a south though, 5 tangos as well, so he should be able to quickly make him back to the lane. So, at the moment, in terms of CS, it looks pretty even across the board. Just the fact that mid laner Ryze is having a great time.
Yeah, he's doing very well for himself. And the more I think about it, the more I look at the top lane, and I'm just going, they didn't want to have to fight against the Lich Doom. They just wanted to completely avoid it because they didn't want to commit that many resources to stopping those 2 heroes from getting farm, right? So you put 3 heroes down there. You have Yapsor on the Tusk, and then you have bo2's AA, and obviously you have Sing on the Ember. Okay, that's great, but then you can't pressure mid. You don't have that threat of a roaming Tusk who can try to set up kills, and I think that takes away from a lot of MFF's early game. So I think this is just a solution to be like, alright, well, our Slardar was always meant to be kind of sacrificed anyway. We're only picking him for the stun, we're picking him for the amp and mid.
They want to try and go on load, and this time they might just get it. The plasma field bringing him low. The right click's not quite enough. Ryze has got a haste. He's going to try and dive this one, and he's going to find the kill. Should be able to get himself out as well. The tower will bring him low, but he's going to be alright. And this mid lane is not working out for Alliance at all in the first 3 minutes. Bottom lane, crushed onto Bulldog, and now Demon turns to run. Bulldog's going to try and chase it down here with the Scorched Earth. He's a little bit quicker, and of course, Demon taking that increased bit of damage here from the sprint.
He's actually just
run
still
him.
chasing
Yeah.
him. Slardar is faster with low on sprint,
Yes.
but not by much. So it was like I was saying, that kill right there, that doesn't happen if MFF want to do like some defensive trialing with the Ember, because again, the Lich and the Doom just demand so much attention if you want to actually hold them down that I think that they don't even feel it's worth it. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
And look at this top lane farm, 23 for 5 on Beaver Knight, and just 9 for 1 on S4 at the moment. He's having a horrible time up in this top lane.
Well, he's not getting a lot in the way of CS, but he is still getting a lot of experience. If you compare him to what the Slardar is actually getting, he's getting more than Demon. And Demon is also going for a little bit of rune control, so yeah, you can argue that he's spending less time actually in the lane itself, but all that really matters at this point is S4 getting 6, making sure that middle lane doesn't do too terribly from here on out. I mean, Loda's not farming great, but you can rely on them for the damage.
They're going to go on S4 here. There will be the phase shift though. He continues to walk himself away, but it was, of course, they wanted to go on him as soon as he came out with the aggressive orb. Doesn't matter though, they don't have the trap here for him, and now S4, he's got the orb again. He might try and turn this one round. Moving in onto Yapzor, doesn't want to jump through it though, as Sing Sing on the Ember Spirit is there along with the AA. So bringing him low, but nicely played there by S4, avoiding what could have been a potentially lethal rotation there coming out from Monkey Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, it even gets a lot of damage out too, so forcing Yapzor back for the time being. And the time the Tusk isn't on the map, it's actually a little bit of a help for Alliance because their middle lane still, yeah, sure, they're stacking up, but Loda's even forced to do it himself right now as Minuts is making his way back towards face, so maybe not everything going exactly how they wanted it to on the side of Alliance, but again, we talked about their mid-game potential. It's crazy good. Arise could be in trouble.
And look for the toss back, and they will be able to find the blast there from Ake as well. They'll chase him down, and they will get themselves the first kill on the board there. Alliance, Yapzor coming in with the shards, catches out Nuts, but going with the snowball on his own, especially when there are 3 heroes on the side of Alliance. So that's a bit of rotation. Maybe they can find Yapzor as well. They're moving in. He is going to put himself in the snowball straight across the creeps. Now turns to run, but the Avalanche is there with a toss to follow up. There's going to be a double kill for Loda in the mid lane, and Alliance certainly needed that after the start that Tiny Isle were having.
I kind of wonder why he stuck around for so long. Like, he just saw 3 heroes. I imagine he was probably a little bit greedy, seeing the creep wave and be like, ah, yeah, I'll just try to soak a bit, and then gets too close and ends up paying for it. But that does kind of bring Loda right back to where he wants to be, getting those 2 kills. You can pretty much count a kill in the early game as like getting 4 CS, maybe 5. So now if you just add that to what he has already, then those 2 kills kind of put him back up to par with the highest farmers.
Of course, one thing we're seeing now is Hake being a lot more active across the map. At the early stages, pretty much won that lane with Bulldog in an incredible amount. You're seeing 34 for 15 on the Doom compared to 12 for 0 on Jimmy's Slardar. It's a massive difference there. Gonna be the change there onto S4, but Ake is there with a backup. You have got, of course, AA still hanging around. But yeah, this Doom is going to be pretty terrifying here on good old Henrik on the bottom.
The thing about it is, MFF knew this going in. Like, they saw the way the lane shaped up, and they made it a note to not come down here and contest. They said, Jimmy, you're on your own. Get whatever experience you can, which, I mean, he's level 5, 7 minutes, and that's against a lane that for a good amount of time had a Lich in it as well, who's constantly denying experience from you. So I'd say that he's gotten a pretty decent amount, tried to contest some runes. Again, this is a hero who is picked solely for amplify damage. You put that on the Tiny, you put it on the Doom, you just have a link on him or something like that from a Rise, and you just right-click him down. BKB does not help against that. It is a very good way to deal with those heroes during the mid-game.
Look at this movement here from Monkey Freedom Fighters. Coming straight into the Dire Jungle. They found these stacks that Loda and Nuts are taking. They're going to move in here with the Snowball onto Loda. They're trying to chase it down, but it's just the 2 of them at the moment. Arise a little bit too far behind to help out, and maybe it's Yapzor that's in trouble. Still starting on with the fight, but now the Plasma Field comes in, and Arise with the static link as well. Moving in onto Loda, looking for the slaps onto Nuts here. It's a good link here, stolen a fair bit. 29 at the moment. Can he kill Nuts? No, he can't. Nuts is going to be able to get up the high ground. The shards don't even catch the IO. So neither Tiny or the IO dying there. Now Arise is going to be the one that plays like, but the IO walks back in! There were 3 other heroes going for the kill on Razor. There was no need for Nuts to go back in there, so he does end up losing his life.
That was greed.
A bit of a mess there, but they do get the Razor kill, but losing the IO not necessary there.
It wasn't necessary, but in the end it is still worth it, like 1 for 1. Of course it was a mistake, but sometimes you just got to roll with the punches, and I'm sure that Alliance aren't going to be too torn up about that one. The weird part was, I think S4 actually just walked casually all the way from top just to try to get there to stop what was going on because he didn't actually have a TP at the time, so. Still, the 2 highest farmers just continue to be singing, you know, Bulldog on the Doom. These 2 guys just getting pretty much everything they want here.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of build Sing Sing goes for here. Do you think this is going to be kind of the phase drums Ember here, or does he go for the Battle Fury earlier on in his progress?
I think phase drums is really solid.
Yeah.
Like, their team can actually fight very well, and he's even maxing Searing Chains to help for the puck kill and also to help line up the AA blast once Wave 2 actually hits level 6. So between those two things, you can actually kill quite easily. And the thing is, you can't phase shift Searing Chains, so every time he does that to S4, you just take the damage. Like, you can't do anything about it. It's one of the reasons why Ember is actually... the heroes kind of counter each other.
Ooh, S4 uses the orb aggressively now. He will get the silence and the Dream Cock drops as well, but Yapzor's here on the tusk, moves in with the snowball. S4 is trapped up. Can he do anything to turn this one around? He's got the phase shift, buys him some time, but he still dies. And a nice rotation there from Yapzor, and again, one of those windows where as soon as you send out that orb, Monkey Freedom Fighter is going to be ready to jump back on you.
Yeah, I mean, he even had a ward in the area, didn't he? Yeah, he did. It's interesting. Maybe he just wasn't assuming it to be so aggressive. But either way, very nice kill. And there's a Doom. Goodbye, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's in a lot of trouble there down on the bottom lane. No backup here for the Slardar. And that'll be one cleaned up there by Bulldog on the Doom. So continuing to stay at the top of the board here in terms of net worth. 4.2k at the moment on the man. Top lane. You can see Loader and Nuts look for some kind of action here. They're looking for Sing Sing. He's going to throw the Remnant forward and he's actually going to try and fight with Yapzor coming in the snowball. Nuts is going to get bursted down by the Walrus Post. They get the Avalanche onto 2. They've actually managed to found the kill onto Yapzor on this Tusk. The Rise has turned up, trying to move in onto Loaded, trying to deliver the static link. Steals 26. And looks like that will be that for the time being. Alliance are going to disengage, but they only lose the Eye and they find themselves a pretty nice kill in return for of course, Loader on the Tiny.
I think they would have gotten more out of that on the side of Alliance had S4 not been forced to use his coil earlier. Like, it just came off cooldown now, so if they had it, I think they might have even been able to kill Sing on top of the Tusk, but a lot of rotations coming out now.
Oh, Demon! He wants to fight. There's 2 heroes here, gets the double man crush, and now turns to back himself out. Yapzor's coming in. They've got the vision here. They can get the shards just out of range at the moment. Bulldog, of course, pretty speedy. Ake as well. Not too slow on himself, but here Sing Sing turns up with 2-man Searing Chains. Ake will get the ult out. Bounce between the 2 of them. They'll be able to do the Delta split. No one's going to die to the ult. They've got the punch on Bulldog, but no one's actually died on the side of the lines. Now Ake goes down, but they lose Sing Sing in return, and now with the toss back on Sing Sing's dead body onto Jimmy, who falls as well. 2 for 1 for Alliance. They're going to try and look for more here. Loader moving in, chasing down Yapzor, gets the toss off. Bulldog turns up with a very early skill in level death, and Yapzor will have the snowball. But there's an S4 puck here as well. There's no way that Tusk escapes, and that's going to be the 3rd kill there for Alliance. And really nice reactions there from the team.
Yeah, Alliance already just feeling like we shouldn't let them get anything more than they have out of the early game. Let's just continue to fight. We know we're going to have our coil up and ready to go if we need to actually drop it here. And Bulldog, you can see his item build. He's actually opted to go for a lot of extra armor.
Top lane. Demon looking for a free kill here. Has Nuts got anything to tether to? Yes, he has. Will be able to get himself over a little bit, but Demon's going to continue to chase this. Nuts gets the spirits out. He's going to give it the old walk around, but the Crusher's still going to find him. Demon will find himself the kill. There's going to be a TP in from S4, and Demon's got to run. Dreamcore's going to get dropped straight away here, and S4 going to look for the cleanup here. Misses the orb though. Demon just tries to turn, but the silence is there before he gets the crush off, and S4 will get himself a solo kill. But now Yapzor might find the return here, moving in, and now Sing Sing turning up as well. No escape for S4. They'll get the puck in return. So just a 1-1 there between both teams' solo laners.
A very scrappy game. A lot of kills going on, and this is prior to even the Ancient Apparition having ult up on the side of MFF. They're just abusing the fact that Ember's mobility and damage output during the early game is fantastic, and since Bulldog and Sing are not typically in the same place, you're just not really going to have to worry about Doom most of the time. So as long as the Slardar is keeping tabs on Bulldog, then you're not really having too hard of a time just fully committing to these fights if you're Sing, and I think that's actually helping them quite a bit.
Ooh, Alliance.
There's a blink on this Tiny.
Alright, okay, Yapzor might be in a bit of trouble here. Avalanche and a toss to the face, the backup's there, does get off a snowball, but there's 4 heroes on the side of Alliance waiting to kill this Tusk, and they'll get it. Easy pick off there, and Bulldog's build here. Now this is something that I don't see every day on the old Dooms, Armlet Doom.
I think it's kind of a way to make him a lot more effective in the team fights. You add onto that the Lich armor that they already have. And if he wants to, he can go take an Ice Ogre at some point. And they just have like billions of armor. So Armlet is like one of the most cost-effective items in the game for a strength hero in terms of how much damage it gives you.
Demon. Oh, Lotus straight in onto the fish here. Demon will be able to get himself out. No! Taken down by Io there. There'll be a snowball from Yapzor, but there's 5 heroes here on the side of Alliance. Yapzor's got to try and get himself out. There's the waning rift onto him. S4's tossed forward. Drops the dream coil. Doesn't catch anyone, though. Yapzor's going to continue to run. Looks to hide in the tree line. Bulldog's chasing him down here. Yapzor with the jukes might just get himself out. Earns himself back alive. And a bit of a whiffed dream coil there from S4, meaning they won't find a kill now. That's a free kill onto Nuts here. Sing Sing picks that one up. There's going to be the tether. Not going to save the little ball of light. A 1-for-1 there. Again, another bit of a scrappy engagement from both sides. It's been a bit of a messy game here, 13 minutes in.
Yeah, they just want to try to get map control as soon as humanly possible. I was kind of still thinking about the armlet choice coming in from Bulldog. He does eventually eat the creep that gives you ice armor, so now he's got that at his disposal. But it's usually seen as kind of weird to buy armlet against AA, because you can't toggle it. But he could just be buying it solely for the damage and the armor, which is still like pretty decent for the cost.
I mean, I guess at this point, looking at the net worths of the...
Look at that armor, dude.
I mean, what, 17 armor at the moment on Doom? And
no,
a good 12
25 armor.
Oh, 25.
Yeah.
Whew. 14 minutes into
this is just a hard Slardar counter. Like, that's what they're trying to do, is just make sure that their tanky heroes stay tanky.
That's cool. He's just moving in. Pushing back, Sting Sing. There's a snowball though, and again... Oh, he's going to be fine. Hang on.
He thought he was dead.
Is it? Beaver turns back up and says, we need to get this kill, but now there's a Doom onto Sing Sing. Sing Sing on the retreat here with Yapzor. Bulldog trying to chase it down here. Look at the speed of this man going. The shards will buy some time for Sing Sing. He has got a remnant out, if he can live throughout the duration of this Doom. And there we go. He's just going to TP straight out for the tree line. They couldn't find him anyway. So, tanks to Doom. Does manage to get out, and they do get the kill onto S4 there. So, some nice play from Monkey Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, nice to not give anything away, and Doom being expended is just more freedom for Sing to do what he wants. Kinda... I think the bots early are nice, but he is making himself very fragile. Like, he has a bracer in his inventory, and then he just goes straight for the Claymore. He's not going for drums, he's just going straight into Battle Fury. Could just be maybe the assumption that he sees the build that Bulldog went and goes, okay, fighting in the mid game is probably not going to be the best idea for us. Maybe I just want to try to go for more late game oriented style and just try to instantly kill Wisp when he relocates in by having like mass Battle Furies and Daedalus, but who knows.
Alright, that's the item that of course Alliance were waiting for, I'd imagine, before they try and look for the next engagement. Blink Dagger now picked up on S4. So we'll see what they go for here, yeah. Doom now with that good old pack leader Zora, extra damage here for Bulldog. The Doom back online in 25 seconds, and as you can see, Loader's farm, there's no stopping it at the moment. He's got the Blink Dagger, Ogre Club and the Point Booster closing in onto that Aghanim Scepter as well. So some pretty good timings here for the team. We'll have to see what MFF have as kind of an answer to this amount of aggression. And Demon's going to get spotted out in the trees here. S4 finds him with the orb. Avalanche is going to miss here as Demon's able to juke it, but the toss is onto him. And Loader will be able to get himself yet another kill here. And I've got to be honest, Alliance, they might have had a bit of a tricky time in that early laning stage here for the Tiny Io, but they've totally recovered from that, and at the top of the board at the moment, we can see that Tiny is the highest net worth hero at the moment.
Not really a shock. As soon as they get those 2 kills, like the recovery kills from Loda, like I mentioned, he had already pretty much brought himself all the way back from pretty much being same in terms of CS with the rides in that middle lane for the first couple of minutes, and with the insane amount of armor they have, they're going to try to go for Rosh.
Looks like at the moment Monkey Freedom Fighters aren't going to be doing anything here to respond to this. They're just getting a bit of a push on the top lane, seeing Arise trying to do what he can against this tier 2. There's almost certainly going to be a free Rosh here for Alliance. Demon is coming in. The Ice Blast will follow through as well, but
good dodge.
Very nice dodge from Alliance. Yep, so does he want to do this? I don't think he does.
He wants to see how low it is.
Oh, S4 just says, nope, you're not jumping into the pit. Drops down the Dream Call onto Demon and Yapzor. Sing Sing won't find a change onto S4 and the Roshan's down. Aegis is going to be picked up by Loader, and now they'll look to fight. Arise has been doomed up. Alliance trying to move in, and they're going to follow this through. I think they will do. Loader wants to blink forward. He's looking for the Avalanche, and he'll find it onto 2 here. The Snowball comes out. The Crusher's well from Jimmy. Jimmy slithers himself away. And Way2 will TP out. Arise ticking low hits the Doom, but I think he'll be able to outlive it. Don't lose anyone here. And just to relocate, where did he go?
Back to base.
Back to base, okay.
Yep.
Just healing themselves back up.
Alright.
But on the plus side for Monkey Freedom Fighters, they don't lose anyone here. Sing Sing wants to fight. And he's going to have to fight a Tiny and an Io combination. They've got an AF coming through as well, but Beaver Knight's incredibly low, but they get the kill onto Io. Now the bounce coming out with a Lich Ult between Demon and Sing Sing. They've got to get themselves out. Yapzor and Arise tried to fight this one, but there's the toss forward onto Bulldog. Picks himself up a killing spree. Maybe maybe it wasn't the play there to try and fight back into that relocating from Aya.
Well, yeah, that was kind of weird, actually, because if somebody relocates to go for a kill, oftentimes you think they're going to be coming back with just the Wisp, or maybe, you know, at max it's going to be 2 heroes, but their relocate was actually to heal them back up. So maybe just not understanding fully what was going on there when he tried to go for the initiation, because otherwise, like, that team has Aegis, they're going to be fighting full HP, Wisp Tiny, and the rest of Alliance. It was definitely a questionable fight, to say the least.
And of course, Demon with the double bracer build here, still a bit of time away from picking up a potential Blink Dagger. Only 700 gold here on the Slardar top lane. What's going on at the moment? We're seeing a bit of a chase down here. Sing Sing looking for S4. S4's just going to simply drop the coil.
He missed his chains, unfortunately. He used them a bit too early. There was like a full creep wave and he didn't have the positioning to catch S4, otherwise he would have died.
I guess the question is really, what does Bulldog go for now? Now he's built the armlet. I mean, do you return to kind of a more standard build, or do you think we could see anything else funky coming out from that?
I'm kind of wondering that myself. What is the best transition out of Armlet Blink? I mean, sure, Aghanims is still going to be fantastic. Just makes the ult last forever. If your whole purpose in life is to just be tanky and throw dooms on people, that's always a great choice. You can go for Shivas if you want the mana pool, which Doom also kind of struggles with. You can go Assault if you just want to make sure that, you know, Loda can go for something like Butterfly instead, or Moonshard, which is usually the more often bought item that we see nowadays. It's a lot of choices for him, really.
Yeah, and of course, talking about Loda, Ag's now finished here. There was a Midas picked up by AA, so we will start to see, of course, they're able to make their way towards their Aghanims here on way 2, eventually. Still just sitting at level 7, though, 20 minutes in. It's certainly a poor AA. He's got a bit of catching up to do so, but if they can prolong the length of this game, they'll get to that point eventually. Rise has picked up the Sanj. I imagine it's going to be SMY on Razor. We're going to see him find Nuts here. Nuts will tether himself across. Ice Blast will get the pass over. No, it looks like, yeah, he did hit onto Nuts. They're going to follow up. They have got Sing Sing moving in. They'll look for the kill onto Iron. They should be able to find it. He's got the Ice Blast to your belt on him. But there's a turnaround. There's a Dream Coil onto 2. Yapzor's getting incredibly low. Arise is in trouble as Ake and Loda focus him down. Now with this Noble Fort onto S4, they might be able to find the puck in return. They do. That's a big kill. Double kill for Sing Sing. But Loda's just here with a cleanup. He's found himself the kill onto 1. At the same time, Bulldog cleans up Demon on the Slardar. Sing Sing's going to look for the TP out, and he will find it. Bit of a messy fight once again. I mean, Monkey Freedom Fighters do find themselves the S4 puck, quite a high value kill at this point, but well, they lose 2 of their cores here, and of course the Tusk as well, so not too ideal. And it's going to be the straight up Vlads here now for Bulldog.
That one's really nice because it synergizes well with the Tiny. Core space damage increase is going to be great. You already have the Pack Leader Zora on top of that, so you're getting the 45% increased damage, which is insane. I really like I said, in a lot of games, Armlet is not always seen as like a go-to item against Ancient Apparition, but in this game, that in conjunction with having the max ice armor on Ake already, like he didn't even max Nuke.
Oh, Bulldog straight away with the blink out, the Scorched Earth as well. It's going to be hard for them to chase. This Demon is closing the gap here with the sprint. And they have got Sing Sing moving in as well. Bulldog turns the armlet on, he's got S4. Now here comes the relocating Loda and Nuts turning up to the party. They'll take down Jimmy here. There's a static link from Arise, stealing a fair bit here from Loda. S4 drops the Dream Coil, but Loda's already lost a fair bit of damage. Arise takes the Dream Coil stun to the face here. Searing Chains will follow up onto S4, but he's able to jaunt himself out with the orbit. Doesn't matter. Still goes down. It's a mega kill streak here for Sing Sing. They managed to pop the Aegis here as well. This is a really good fight for Monkey Freedom Fights. Can they find anything more here? Loda gets the Avalanche onto Arise, but now with the Snowball moving in, Sing Sing's sticking about with the Sleight of Fist. Loda getting low, but Ake's still there. It's now going to be Arise that loses his life. There's an Ice Blast into the face of Ake. Bulldog forcing back Yapzor on way 2. Sing Sing still sitting in the middle of it all with the Sleight of Fist. Will TP himself back to base as he's out of mana. Bulldog just simply drops the Doom onto Yapzor, looking for an easy kill, but they're going to be looking for the deny potential. Can Yapzor find it? Yes, he can. Does manage to deny himself there to the neutrals. AA will go down, though. And another bit of a crazy fight there. It looked good for kind of Monkey Freedom Fighters halfway through. And oh, they can't lose. If they lose Sing Sing as well, this is not going to be the dream here for MFF. He'll be able to get himself over, but Ake's there looking for the Frost Blast. Now still got the old block. Jimmy's turned up as a fight. They just get a crush onto 2, but Loda blinks forward with the Avalanche Toss combo. Sing Sing's going to get taken down as Ake hits a killing spree on the Lich. And well, the long fight, our Lions do end up coming out on top of that one for sure, and it's 21 for 15 on the board. Bulldog and Loda getting further and further ahead. Bulldog incredibly low here, but he's got the armlet toggling. Demon realizes he probably doesn't want to go for that one. There's also backup coming in from Alliance. Demon could be in trouble. Loader blinks forward, looks for the avalanche. Won't find it as Demon jukes it down to the tree line, but there's 4 heroes here. Nuts is tossed forward. He will get the crush out, but Bulldog moving in, bringing Demon low, and Demon's going to go down. There's going to be an ice blast coming in. Will connect onto Nuts. Nuts might be in trouble. Yapso snowballed in for this one, but now he's got to get himself out. Loader tossing for Bulldog here. They'll get the level death onto Yapso, and Yapso will fall, but not before taking down Bulldog here on the Doom.
That was 1,000 gold Doom kill, man. He's rich.
It's a lot of money
almost
for the task.
1,100. I thought he was gonna punch mine as soon as he went in, but I think he got glimmered by Ake as soon as the snowball came out. So very nice play coming in from the Lich. And this max ice armor build coming in is doing so much work. Like even with Amplify on, Bulldog still had 12 armor. Like that doesn't sound like a ton considering how many armor items he's built, but it's really just keeping yourself above like 10-ish armor makes you just so much more tanky as opposed to being in the negative. So you're not taking like pure damage from auto attacks at that point. I really like the way that Alliance have skilled and played this.
Ooh, Sing Sing wants to find himself an S4 kill. He's still got the Searing Chains and he'll get them down onto S4. S4 will use the orb to jaunt away, but the damage over time, taking him low. The sleight of fist there from Sing Sing, finishing off S4 on the puck. I mean, Sing Sing at the moment, he's having a pretty good game. 7 kills, only died the 2 times, 5 assists. Now sitting on 1,400 gold on top of the Battle Fury boots of travel. So, I mean, he is certainly the kind of the hero that the side of Alliance need to be the most worried about, as we can see. 10k at the moment, 4k higher than his partner, her eyes on the razor. But overall, as we can see, Alliance with the dominating lead. A lot of this, I feel, is going to be down to what Sing Sing can achieve on that Ember Spirit.
He's been playing a great game, though. You're definitely on point with that. He has had, what, 2 deaths to this point, which is not too bad. He's just trying to do a lot with not a lot of farm, I guess, if you want to call it that. Like, Battle Fury and bots at this stage in the game, considering the start that his team had, like, he had the best lane. He was up there against the solo S4 puck, and he was also having support, so he's the one you kind of have to look to be like, all right, we need you to make some big plays. And he's done his fair share, I would say, up until now. But you have to also consider MFF can still win teamfights even being at a farm disadvantage just based on the fact that if the AA ult lands and you get like a nice plasma field, a sleight of fist or 2, and a searing chains, that's already a significant chunk of damage, and you can kill supports with that. And if the wisp is gone and the ice armor is gone, then your slider becomes more effective and you can try to take a fight from there.
I mean, how's Way2 doing on his road to Yags? Has he picked up any part of it yet on top of the Midas? No, not yet. There's still quite a way here to go for the old ice cream cone. But once he does get that, as you said, it's going to be pretty scary for Alliance. Especially when they're trying to push up onto high ground against what MFF have. Loda's going to be able to pick up some Ancients here. And with 1,300 gone back. What's he got in the courier as well? Has picked up the plate mail. Okay, he's got everything bar the Hyperstone. So just 400 gold away from picking up the completed AC.
Now that's going to be huge. So they have AC, they're going to have Vlads, they have Ice Armor. And the Slardar is still not level 11, I believe. Yeah, Jimmy is still around 500 experience away. So level 2 Amplify increases its effectiveness pretty much by 50%, and he's going to need that if they want to chunk through these really beefy heroes on the side of Alliance. And the smoke...
I mean, this is the play, really, isn't it? They've got to find these pickoffs. And yeah, they were hoping maybe for S4 on the top lane, as he's been playing quite aggressively in terms of going out with the farm. We've seen him have a few altercations with Sing Sing. But they're not going to find him up there. Alliance themselves are going to smoke up in the mid lane. They're going to leave Loader revealed here on the Tiny, trying to draw in the attention from FF back towards the mid lane. Looks like they won't get it. There's a DD here as well. I mean, if Loader grabs this one, they've got the relocate. It's not going to be pretty. They even given the bottle here. Make sure that he can save onto that DD for a rainy day. Roshan's even coming back up as well. I mean, if Alliance just go and look for Rosh at this point, get the Aegis. It's not going to be great for Monkey Freedom Fighters in the next fight, to say the least. Monkey Freedom Fighters, though, they're just going to use the fact that they're all up here, take this tier 2. Alliance will probably look for their own here. Blink, of course, on Sing Sing.
They need to play off of their AA, like, very heavily. Even though his ult's only level 1, it's a huge amount of damage that they're missing out in the fights, and I even think at this point having a point and a chilling touch on them too can be massively helpful, considering just the massive amount of armor that the team has bought. And here comes the DD. Dear God, you need to get here. They do not have glyph.
Look at this.
They don't have glyph.
Oh, 1,
That's
2,
3 hits.
3. This is not pretty for the Radiant. They've got to do something about this. The Ice Blast is going to hit onto Loader. Have they got the follow-up? Snowball forward. Sing Sing getting the change up onto 2 here. Maybe the relocate out. They've saved Loader now. A lovely chain frost. Well, not that nice actually. Bounces between 2 of them. They drop the Dream Coil as well, so they do manage to keep Loader out of that one. Question is, do they bring him back in? Let's have a look. No. They say, Nuts, you're taking this one for the team. They'll throw away the IO. Even Knight, Mr. Sing Song diving in deep for that one, and a crit from bo2 finds the kill. They do lose the Doom in return. Okay, they're going to go for the TP out. Do they have any vision? No, they do not. Be able to get himself away. So, okay, so they lose Sing Sing. They get bo2, and they also get Nuts as well. But they do lose their racks. Because that
Double
Tiny
damage,
punched
Tiny.
pretty hard.
Well, it wasn't just double damage either, right? Like, it was double
AC.
damage, it was AC, it was Pack Leader Zor, it was Vlad's damage, like... And he had overcharge as well. That is one of the beefiest Tinies that you're ever going to run into, so...
Always.
Yeah, you gotta be real careful about stuff like that. Although, I'm pretty sure that MFF didn't know he had a double damage until he got to their base. Because they don't have any vision really anywhere around the rune side and bottom. So it's entirely possible that they just didn't know.
I mean, this is scary. We've already talked about how obviously Sing Sing's having a good game so far for his team.
Yep.
You gotta look at Loda's stats, because I think Loda at the moment, he only died literally that once in the lane at the start. Now he's got 8 kills, 11 assists. And obviously a lot of this is down to the fact that Nuts has been playing really nicely on the IO. There's been some massive relocates, getting the Tiny into the fights and out of the fights as well.
Yeah, he's been the martyr.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the job of the Wisp. It's like, alright, I'll bail you out whenever you make a bad choice, and I will take like the 1 in 15 KDA just to make sure that we win. And that's pretty much been the go-to for him this game. But
I mean, Demon at the moment, 1700 gold on top of the Ogun gun. Does he have to get the BKB? Or is he going to be able to... Will he get the blink if he's got the money?
Okay, so now BKB is not even going to be that good for him, because Aghanim's is finished on S4. So.
Oh dear.
The thing about this lineup is, a lot of lineups have a hard time finishing the game, because Puck is seen as a very mid-game focused hero. Like, he takes mid normally, right? And then you farm for Blink, and then you try to fight based off that. But because of his supporting cast in this game, like having the Tiny and the Doom, 2 amazing frontliners who can also base siege, just having the Aghanims and Blink is enough. He doesn't need anything else, because Razor doesn't have an escape from the coil, neither does the Slardar, neither does the AA, so all 3 of those heroes pretty much just die to a coil stun.
It's going to be a hard fight for MFF, but maybe with the power of Sing Song, they can pull through. Talking about Sing Sing, how's he doing on top of the Blink? 1400 gold. I mean, at this point, he's just looking to get the crit on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, he got Blink to try to go for the better positioning, which I do agree that it's very nice. But if your Sleight of Fist doesn't deal any damage to the enemy heroes, and like no matter how good your positioning is, it's pointless, right? Like that's the way that I see it. Is right now he just needs damage. If he doesn't have like a full Daedalus by the time they come knocking on high ground again, they're gonna have issues. And even with that, again, just because of the mass armor that they have, it is very, very difficult for MFF at this point.
Radiance top.
Loda wants to find himself Yepsel, but Yepsel's gonna put on his fabulous glimmer cape and get himself out. They'll have the tier 2 here, Alliance, and of course, I'd imagine they'll stick around for a fight. Let's see if they're ready to go for it. And look for a second set of racks here on the top lane from the side of Freedom Fighters. Yeah, Loda just heads up to the high ground, starts to pound away at the tier 3. Not as quickly as he was, of course, when he had the DD, but still at a pretty impressive rate. And Border just jumps safe. He's got the Doom onto Ember. Sing Sing's got to get himself out of the fight. Arise front lines it for a bit, takes away 150 damage from Loda. Well, he might have stolen the physical damage, but you haven't stolen all the magical there from the 1-2 combo. And Arise, just gets saved there by the snowball pickup. Demon getting a nice 3-man crush. The Ice Blast will follow through. The Border pops the BKB here, will walk himself out. But even Knight has to get himself away because Loda is still hitting pretty damn hard. And they just can't stop Alliance from hitting the racks. They've got a fortification. Sing Sing trying to do what he can, but he just hasn't got the damage at the moment. Demon now gets a crush onto Loda. Loda now losing damage once again, but S4 blinks forward. Gets the Radiant Rift onto Demon. Demon's going to go down to the balls there of my nuts. And now Loda will take a snowball to the face, but he's got the Aegis. He's going to be back for round 2. Arise coming out very aggressively, but bo2 just appears with the right clicks. The orb flying through the face of the Razor. Look at the toss onto Yap, so he tries to get himself back up to the high ground. Will be able to escape, but they've lost half of the racks here on the top lane. There's been a buyback from Arise. And Alliance, they're going to give a bit of mercy for the time being. They don't want to try and force another fight yet. They're happy with what they've found from that one so far.
They got the important racks. Yeah. That's really all that matters. They got the melee. They forced them to use Glyph again as well.
S4. Sing Sing, he'd love to find this kill. He's not. Oh, nice dude there. Dodges the avalanche. Can't dodge everything else though, unfortunately, there for the Ember Spirit.
Hit by a giant tree. Not the greatest feeling in the world. And there's the GG. They realize it's like it's too difficult to get through them. So I really. So the Lich was picked first, right? They picked Lich Doom, I believe, in their first 2 picks. And when they did that, the first thing I thought of was, okay, well, they're going to need some minus armor. And I really liked their answer for it, which was just in the form of Slardar. It's just the problem of their team got so far ahead during the mid-game. Ake's skill build maxing Ice Armor, only getting 1 point into Frost Blast. Just those things alone, and the way that Bulldog built himself too to make sure that he could be that frontliner that Alliance actually needed at the time,